sometimes when you're super lucky, on a lucky day, you can find some amazing stuff in here. So if you're ready, let's try. All right, not much, nothing special. Paper, more paper. Oh, what is that? What? Who leaves that here? A lens, 1635. What else? Paper, checked. What? Are you for real? Damn, today is gonna be a good day. Good morning, everyone. Well, that was a scary intro to shoot. Alright, I hope you're having an amazing day. Today we're talking about the holy trinity of lenses. I need a third arm to hold the last one. But is it worth it? Is it overrated? Should you even ever think about getting it or not? Well, I want to dig into it because I had it not long ago and I want to share with you my thoughts about it, but I also want to give you a little update on what it is, what it's for, and in which circumstances would you want to have it. But before we get started, I need to know what you guys are using. Do you have the holy trinity of lenses? What are your 3 favorite lenses? Let me know in the comments below. All right, let's get started. First of all, what is this holy trinity of lenses? Well, it's not the matrix. It's not an awesome scene in the matrix. It simply means that you have 3 of the most important zooms, I would say, in photography. The 1635 f2.8, the 7200 f2.8, and also a 2470 f2.8. Those lenses are the 3 main lenses, I would say, around the photography world. They've been here forever and they are very, very versatile, and a lot of people love them. They're also very good lenses in general, whether we're talking about Nikon, Sony, Canon, they're all great lenses. But why do we call it the holy trinity of lenses exactly? Well, the first time I heard about it was actually through Peter McKinnon, and the second time was actually when I started digging into the subject and I realized that we've been calling those 3 lenses the trinity of lenses for a very long time. Now, why is that? Why do we make it sound so holy? Well, for the simple reason that you can cover everything, literally everything, with those 3 lenses, right? You're gonna go from 16mm all the way to 200, still have a nice f-stop, a constant aperture at 2.8, and on top of that, you can literally shoot anything, absolutely anything. You can be shooting wide for landscapes, you can be shooting super tight for portraits or for nature, you can be shooting in the street at 35mm f2.8. That versatility is what makes it so beautiful. Now, there is something to say, it's very, 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 very expensive, right? If we're taking the whole pack together, right now I'm on the Sony ones, if we're bringing them all together, we're talking about $7,000. $2,200, $2,200 for the 2470, and $2,600 for the 7200 f2.8. Now, I don't know about you, but for me that's a huge investment, and that's why I wanted to talk about the fact that is it worth it or is it not worth it? Because depending on who you are and what you do, that might make sense or that might not, right? In what circumstances would you ever have to carry those lenses? Well, I would say, first of all, if you're a pro, you can totally justify it. You will use all those lenses. Each one of those lenses has its own strength, meaning 1635 for me is my go-to lens when I want to film and when I want to shoot. I can shoot in the streets at 35, really love it. I can shoot at 16, give a wider feel, some action, make you feel like you're in the scenes, really, really good. And the fact that that one is a constant aperture at 2.8 also gives me the ability to shoot at night. Now, I want to give a little warning. Some of you might have commented already, but all of those lenses also have a f4 constant version, which is a lot cheaper. We're talking about half the price, obviously, and that can be another trinity of lenses, which is really good. But in low light, it's not going to be as great in my opinion, because you're at f4 and not f2.8, which means you will have to push your sensor a lot more. 99% of the videos you've seen where I speak is shot on that lens. And then once we moved to 2470, I had it in Guatemala, and you guys might have seen I would not remove it from the camera anymore. It was a great lens, super versatile. Really loved it. You can shoot portraits in the street, you can reach a little bit deeper, get some compression in the background at 70mm, and yet you can still shoot at 24mm and get that wide range. Really versatile lens. I've been really blown away by it. Now 70-100, I know a lot of you dream about that lens. Yes, it's great, it's beautiful, you have so much range with that, meaning from 70 to 200 you can go in details, and also you get an amazing depth of field at 200 and f2.8. Great investment if you use it regularly and maybe for your work or at least for your passion. Now if you're using it just for fun, most likely after a few usage you will get a little bit tired of its weight and you will leave it at home. So you might want to be careful, make sure you're going to be using it if you get it. I personally am on the verge of ordering. We'll talk about that in another part. Okay, now we all recognize how amazing those lenses are. Now, isn't there a better alternative? And what are the problems with those lenses? I mean, if they're so good, why don't everyone has one? Well, first of all, as I mentioned, the price is a huge barrier to entry for so many of us. The only way I could afford those lenses, and I think I remember a comment saying I had a sugar daddy pay for my lenses. No, actually I had to work for it. I worked a lot, I managed to pay for my lenses, and those lenses paid for themselves through my work as a photographer. I used to use that lens absolutely every day when I was shooting portraits back in Paris, or my 16-35 when I wanted to shoot a little bit wider. Perfect lenses, beautiful. But if you're not working, if you cannot amortize those lenses, that might be a very steep jump to make to get those babies. Now, another thing I have to admit, and no one talks about it, it's like super heavy. I don't know who is carrying those lenses or what kind of bag you're using, but that is super heavy. If you have 24-70, the 70-200 and the 16-35 in your backpack, wow, you are going to work out a lot or break your back. I regret every time I take that lens in my bag and I don't use it. It's a big fear of mine to not use it. So if you were ever considering those lenses, consider the weight also. That's a big drawback in my opinion. Yet those are so nice and the images are so beautiful. I just love them. You might have seen the videos on each individual lens. Sometimes it is still worth it to take it with me. Last thing is simply the fact that if you have those Trinity of lenses, it's very unlikely that you're going to buy after a prime lens. I mean, it just adds up in terms of cost. And personally, once I have lenses that can do everything, I'm very unlikely to go back to a prime lens. And prime lenses are great for developing your skills, but also shooting at very shallow depth of field and getting an amazing low light lens. Pros and cons on everything. You could get a 50mm 1.8, which would be also very cheap, but then you're like, oh, I already have that focal range with the 24-70. Should I really bring it? Up to you. So the good news is that there are a bunch of alternatives. One of them, for example, would be getting prime lenses or simply going for different types of lenses, because we're talking about 24-70, for example. I heard there's 28-75 from Tamron, which is a lot cheaper, or you can get all those lenses in f4 versions. They are lighter, they are cheaper, and they work just as well. But if you need that extra f2.8 for your shallow depth of field or simply for nighttime, you will have to invest. So what friends do, they actually shoot with only two lenses. One is a 35mm f1.4 or 1.8, and another one is an 85mm f1.8. I have a ton of wedding photographer friends, they only shoot with that, and I have a ton of landscape photographers, they only shoot with a wide lens, for example with the 16-35mm f4, and then they just have a 85mm in the bag, a 1.8, and that's all they're using. So you have a bunch of alternatives. You don't necessarily to go all the way out and get all the holy trinity of lenses, although it's great to have if you can't justify it. I think it's going to be something that is good to have for a little bit, but you might not take it with you at all times. And I think portability is the most important, especially when you get new lenses, when you get new gear, because it defines how much you're going to be using it, right? If something is not portable, you're never going to bring it with you. Let's be honest. The one thing that is the most portable in the world is this phone, and we have it everywhere. That's what we take the most pictures with. I wanted to share that with you guys. I want your opinion. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the Holy Trinity of lenses is worth it? Do you have it? What are your favorite lenses? I want to hear about you right here. And with that being said, I'm gonna get out. We are getting a little bit of sun and it was super gloomy until now, which makes me really happy. And I'm gonna try to go shoot a little bit and hopefully meet another Chicago photographer after that, so we can get some cool banger shots together. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the SUBSCRMB button, ring that notification bell. It's gonna make a huge chunk. It's gonna be amazing. You'll be notified for all the new adventures. And guys, new trip coming soon. More videos, more fun. Get out there, go shoot, try something new, try something different. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Oh, side note, shooting in that intro, super scared. I thought someone would just run away with the lenses, or someone would open it, someone would take me away and I would have to abandon my lenses in that newspaper box. But I thought it was fun to find a friend when you go out and shoot those videos, because it makes it a little bit less stressful.